Good morning. Hi, 7th grade. We're going to continue with the topics for the second portion. We're going to start with viruses. Remember that so far we've been talking about the cell and microscopic organisms. So this chapter, we're going to start seeing viruses, bacteria, and fungi. So we're going to start with viruses. But a virus is a tiny non-living particle that invades a cell. If you see, it's non-living. So this means that a virus can only live if it is in another living cell. If it is not on a cell, the virus eventually is gonna die. If it's like on the top of the book, eventually it's gonna die. So a virus needs another living thing for it to live. They act like parasites. Why? Because they need something with life so that they can infect and they are able to live on their own. So that's why they're said to act like parasites. And that's why right now, also with the coronavirus crisis, you're being told to stay home. Because if the virus doesn't have a person to infect, and if it's on the streets, if it's on any surface, it is gonna die because they are non-living and they need a living organism to survive. All right, how does a virus look like? A virus has two important characteristics on its structures, and number one is that they have a protein coat, and number two is that inside they have a genetic material. Viruses can be round with spikes like this one and have the genetic material on the inside, or they can also be well arranged and kind of look like tiny robots like the one you see here, that they have a head, they have a body, and they have legs, and they have the protein coat outside and the genetic material on the inside. This protein coat works so that they can attach to a cell the way that we see here. Viruses are able to multiply because they infect another living organism. So in this example, I put an animal cell. If you're healthy and you have a classmate and the classmate suddenly sneezes, the viruses go in the air. They're transmitted by the air. They go flying, all right? Then you breathe in and you inhale all of those viruses, and those viruses are gonna reach your nose and your lungs. Once the viruses see your cell, they're gonna attach, all right? That's why the protein coats like that. In this example, I used the robot-like parasite, but you could also have the other one that has the spikes, and it's gonna attach through the spikes. All right, it's gonna attach to the cell through the spikes. So they're gonna attach to the cell, and once they attach to the cell, this virus is gonna inject, it's gonna introduce the genetic material to your cell. All right, so your cell becomes infected. And once it's infected with the genetic material of that virus, the cell starts producing more viruses, because remember, they injected their genetic material. So your cell gets confused and it starts producing more genetic material. And once the genetic material has been multiplied, they start producing more viruses. All right, they produce more viruses and they infect the whole cell. And once they're ready and they are assembled, they're gonna kill the cell, they make a hole in the cell, and they go out. How are they gonna go out? If you have a respiratory virus, they're gonna go out throughout your sneeze, through your saliva, or through your mucus. All right, if you have a gastrointestinal virus, they're gonna go out again through the saliva or through the fecal matter. So this is how viruses multiply, how they reproduce, and also how they get transmitted. So again, this is why it's important in these days that you've been told to stay home. Why should we stay home? Because if you get the virus multiplies in your body and you pass it to another person, and we're never gonna get rid of a virus. So that's the reason why viruses multiply so well, because they trick our cells and they multiply inside of our cells and they go out. We have many different types of viruses. Viruses can have different diseases. For example, if you have the chicken pox, which is varicella, that's a virus. And if you get it, probably all your classmates are gonna get it, or influenza virus or coronavirus, all right? They're all different types of viruses. It is very important for you to know that a virus does not have a cure. So how do we treat viruses? All right, viruses have no cure. No cure. So what do I do if I have a viral disease? I need to drink water so that my body is well hydrated and I get less infection. I need to eat well. And also I need to move. I need to make exercise. If you have a healthy body, then the viral infection is going to be less. Okay, so if you get a viral disease, drink lots of water or juices, eat well, eat your fruits and vegetables because they help you get rid of the infection, and make exercise, move. There's something also very really important when we're talking about viruses, and it's when we talk about vaccines. Vaccines are vacunas, all right? We have vaccines. I'm pretty sure all of you got the vaccine when you were 11 years old. All right. All right. A vaccine is made out of viruses that are dead. So that means that you get introduced viruses on your body when you get a vaccine, but they are already dead. These are dead viruses. They put them inside your body, and so when your body sees them, your white blood cells start fighting against those viruses. All right, they start fighting, and they make an army against them. They produce more and more and more, and they're gonna be fighting against it. All right, they're all gonna fight against it. So when your body fights, these cells are memory cells. So when you get the real virus, the virus is gonna go inside your body, but since you already have an army, they're gonna kill it right away. Okay, so important, again, viruses, no cure. All I need to do is drink water, eat well, make exercise, and if there is a vaccine for that virus, put my vaccine and I'll be just fine. Right now with coronavirus, stay home, eat well, drink water, and make exercises if you get infected. I hope and ask God not to get infected, but we need to take care of ourselves. If you don't understand, guys, please send me a message.